The mess hall of Interstellar Station Korova smelled like recycled air and cheap synth protein. The universal odor of every multi-species transit hub from here to the outer rim. Humans called it space cafeteria smell. The Vorkai called it an insult to their olfactory glands. No one particularly cared what the Vorkai thought. Jack noticed the commotion first. He was halfway through a lukewarm bowl of reconstituted noodles when the sound cut through the ambient hum of 36 alien conversations. A low, rattling laugh, like gravel tumbling through a drainage pipe. He recognized it instantly. Everyone on Korova did. Dravox. The Vorkai soldier stood nearly 3 meters tall, a wall of grayscaled muscle wrapped in the amber-tinted combat suit his kind never seemed to take off. He had 6 limbs, 4 legs planted wide, 2 arms currently folded across a chest the size of an airlock door. His crest spines were fully erect, which meant he was either excited or angry. With Dravox, the difference was academic. Across from him, barely reaching the creature's collarbone, stood Lily. Jack set down his fork. Lily was the station's newly assigned human liaison officer, 26 years old, 5'4", with close-cropped brown hair and the patient expression of someone who had already decided how this was going to end. She was holding a datapad in one hand. Her other hand hung loose at her side. "You will submit the docking variance report through Vorkai command channels," Dravox announced, loud enough for the entire mess hall to hear. He was performing now. He always performed. "Not through your laughable human administrative system. We do not answer to mammal bureaucrats. Station protocol requires all docking requests go through central administration," Lily said. Her voice was calm, conversational, even. "That's humans, yes. It's also the Threnny delegates, the collective observers, and the Mechari Trade Board. It's everyone, Dravox. Not a personal slight." The Vorkai's crest spines flared wider. "You dare speak my name without title? You haven't given me a title to use." Another rattling laugh, but this one was sharper, meaner. Around the mess hall, conversations had quietly died. Aliens of a dozen species were pretending to eat while watching with the practiced nonchalance of people who had learned not to get involved in Vorkai confrontations. Jack had started to stand up. Dravox leaned down, a slow, deliberate descent, bringing his massive face within half a meter of Lily's. His breath, by all accounts, smelled like something had died inside something else that had also died. "You are soft," he said. "Your species is soft. You have no carapace, no venom, no true combat heritage. You are prey animals who learn to use tools." He straightened back up to his full height and spread all 6 limbs wide in the Vorkai display of absolute contempt. "If you had any honor, you would challenge me. But you won't, because you can't." The mess hall was completely silent now. Lily tilted her head slightly. "Is that an invitation?" Dravox blinked his 4 eyes in sequence, the Vorkai equivalent of a double take. "What?" "To challenge you." She set the datapad down on the nearest table with a small, precise click. "Is that what you're asking for?" A ripple went through the watching crowd. The Threnny at the corner table made a sound that translated roughly as "oh no." Jack was on his feet now, moving toward Lily, because he knew her, had worked alongside her for 7 months, and he knew exactly what that particular calm expression meant. "You?" Dravox said, and he laughed again, longer this time, spreading it out for the audience. "A human female? You weigh less than my secondary arm." He extended the limb in question, a massive, scaled thing that could have wrapped around Lily's entire torso. "Go ahead then, little mammal. Hit me. Show me this famous human ferocity I keep hearing about in the recruitment vids." He was grinning. The Vorkai grin was not a pleasant thing. Too many teeth, going too far back. "Hit me," he said again, savoring it. "I won't even move." Lily looked at him for one long, quiet moment. Then she hit him. Not a slap, not a shove. A single, compact, technically precise right-hand strike delivered to the lateral nerve cluster located just beneath the Vorkai's secondary jaw. A cluster that any xenobiology student could find in a textbook, but that required exactly the right angle, exactly the right force, and the absolute confidence to close that distance on a 3-meter apex predator without flinching. The sound it made was not dramatic. It wasn't a cinematic crack of thunder. It was a soft thud, and then the sound of approximately 260 kilograms of Vorkai soldier hitting the deck. Dravox did not get up. He lay on the mess hall floor with all 6 limbs at odd angles, eyes blinking in non-sequential patterns, crest spines completely flat. His jaw worked silently. The amber combat suit's impact sensors were screaming alerts in Vorkai script across its surface. Lily picked her datapad back up. The docking variance report, she said, to his general direction, goes through central administration. There's a form. It takes about 4 minutes to fill out. I can send you the link. Jack reached her side. He looked down at Dravox. He looked at Lily. The lateral cluster, he said. 3rd edition of the Unified Xenobiology Field Manual, she replied. Chapter 19. Vorkai pressure points and involuntary motor disruption. She glanced at him sideways. You look like you were about to come do something heroic. I was going to stand near you supportively. That's very heroic of you. Around them, the mess hall was doing the thing that crowds do after witnessing something that breaks their understanding of how the world works. A collective recalibration, a reassembly of assumptions. The Threnny at the corner table were making rapid clicking sounds to each other. The Mechari trade delegate had stopped pretending to eat and was openly staring. 2 junior Vorkai soldiers near the back were frozen in their seats, looking at their fallen unit commander, then at each other, then back at Lily, running some internal calculation that clearly was not resolving cleanly. One of them stood up. Jack stepped forward. Not aggressively, just present. He was 6 feet tall and had the particular kind of quiet physical confidence that came from a decade of working deep station security before moving into interspecies relations. He didn't say anything. He just stood where he was and looked at the junior soldier with the patient expression of a man who had also done some reading. The junior soldier sat back down. Dravox made a sound from the floor. It might have been a word in Vorkai. It might have been a groan. The distinction was unclear. He'll be fine, Lily said, to the room in general. Lateral cluster disruption is temporary. 20, 30 minutes. He should probably spend that time thinking about administrative filing procedures. She tucked the datapad under her arm. Lunch, she said to Jack. You were eating. I was, he agreed. They walked back to his table. Jack sat down. Lily pulled out the chair across from him and sat as well, which was new. She usually ate alone, which he had always attributed to her finding most people exhausting, a quality he respected. He pushed the noodles aside. Neither of them spoke for a moment. You knew exactly where to hit him, Jack said finally. I studied the manual 6 weeks ago, when I got the Korova posting. Dravox has a documented history of physical intimidation toward non-Vorkai personnel. I thought it was worth being prepared. And if he'd moved? He said he wouldn't. She met his eyes. The corner of her mouth did something that wasn't quite a smile. I believed him. Jack thought about this. That's either very trusting or very tactical. When someone tells you exactly how to beat them, Lily said, the polite thing is to listen. Behind them, they could hear the soft sounds of the mess hall returning to itself, conversations restarting, cutlery resuming its work, the ambient hum of a station that had witnessed something and was now carefully filing it away. In the corner, the junior Vorkai soldiers were talking to each other in low, rapid voices. On the floor, Dravox was beginning to move, one limb, then another, slow and uncertain, like a machine rebooting in the wrong order. By the time he was upright again, Lily and Jack had finished lunch. By the time he filed the docking variance report, correctly, through central administration, using the form, which did indeed take approximately 4 minutes, Lily had moved on to her afternoon briefings. The story spread through Korova Station in the way that stories always spread through places where many different kinds of people are trapped together with too little to do, fast, and with elaboration. The Threnny told it with clicking enthusiasm. The Mechari trade delegate sent a subspace message home about it. The junior Vorkai soldiers told a different version, one where certain details were different and Dravox was more dignified. But everyone who had been in that mess hall knew the real version. One human. No carapace. No venom. Just a book she'd read, a belief she'd tested, and the complete, unhurried certainty that if someone tells you to hit them, you hit them. Humanity. Someone scratched into the wall near docking bay 7 that evening, in no alphabet that anyone ever officially claimed. Reads the manual.